Hello, I thought that today we would take a look at the Playing Marseille deck by Ryan Edward. This is the same creator as for the Maybe Lenormand. If you've seen that deck, you will see some similarities between the two. But this is actually a tarot deck, but it's sort of a Marseille tarot deck playing card mashup, and they work really well together. So if you're familiar with the Marseille Tarot, or the Tarot de Marseille, if we're saying it properly, I suppose, you'll see the similarities between this and that, but you're also going to see in the cards, first of all, the cards are the size of regular standard playing cards, and you'll see that the suits for regular playing card are what have been used for this deck instead of the typical suits that you see in the Marseille deck. The deck comes in this little box, very much like the deck box for the Maybe Lenormand. I think of these as like little, almost like cigar boxes is kind of what they remind me of, and they're pretty sturdy and cute. However, I find them to be a real pain in the butt for storing the decks in, because you have to split the deck into two piles and they don't fit exactly perfectly, so it drives me sort of insane. But it comes with this little book. The Maybe Lenormand comes with a much better, more informative guidebook. This is pretty bare bones. There's the usual spreads, the 3-card spread, the 9-card spread that you'll see a lot of times with playing card divination, and there's the French cross spread that they have in here as well. Not that any of them are bad, but pretty standard fare. When you see the meanings for the cards, you can see how it just goes through the kings and then gives a pretty quick little couple sentences about the meaning for each of the cards. These meanings, if you're used to the Rider-Waite-Smith system, these meanings, they're using the Marseille meanings, which are slightly different. One of the differences you'll notice is a lot of readers will talk about a more traditional meaning of the Lover's card is choices, and that's because pre-Rider-Waite-Smith, there were usually depicted 3 people on the card instead of 2, and it goes into the whole idea of choices and choosing the right path for yourself and things like that. But you will see in this deck that this does have, it uses the Marseille imagery, which has 3 people on the Lover's card. Also, a lot of people don't realize that Strength being the 8th card of the majors and Justice being the 11th card of the majors is something that Arthur Waite actually introduced in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. Prior to that, and sometimes even today, you'll still see decks that do this, they were actually reversed. Now, the reason why Waite did that had to do with astrology, and he was connecting different astrological things to the cards via the Order of the Golden Dawn's practices and beliefs, and so he made that switch to make the cards fit with the signs that he needed them to fit with. But that's a little side note. So a little book, if you are interested in the Marseille meanings, then it's definitely worth a look through. I do enjoy kind of perusing them and seeing how they are similar and different to the Rider-Waite-Smith meanings for the cards. He also goes into a little bit of talk about colors of black has certain attributes and red has certain attributes, because you do use the playing card suits for this Marseille deck, and so you have the red hearts and diamonds and the black spades and clubs. But the thing is, because I've learned various schools of playing card divination, I know that that is not consistent throughout. It depends on what system you're reading for. So what you find in here applies to this deck, and you may see similarities to some other playing card systems, but it is not universal. It depends on what system you're reading in as to whether black or red or masculine or feminine, positive, negative, etc. And different systems also have, because he associates the suits with seasons, different systems have different associations for that as well. But this is a pip deck, so if what is in this book doesn't work for you, the great thing is that you can just use whatever works for you. So if you do associate seasons with certain suits, you can use whatever association works for you. If you have certain associations with red and black, you can use those as well, because it is a pip deck. So gives you a lot of freedom. Some people really hate pip decks. For me, it depends on the pip deck specifically as to whether or not I love it or hate it. Some people absolutely love them because you're not locked into that imagery and you can kind of go different places. Other people hate it because they want to use the imagery in their interpretation, and you don't get that with a pip deck. And if you don't know what a pip deck is, that just means that the minor arcana are not fully illustrated. They just have whatever suit it is and whatever number within that suit it is, they have that many of that item on the card so that you know which card it is. This is a full 78 card tarot deck. Like I said, it's just in playing card size. I happen to absolutely love this deck. The only thing I hate about this deck is that it is a real pain in the butt to put in order. I obviously put the decks in order when I do the videos on them, but also one of my ways of cleansing decks is to go through and put them back in order, completely in order, the majors, all the minors in order, and then shuffle them to cleanse them from previous readings or clients, or if somebody has taken a look at my deck, if they've been holding my deck, a lot of times then I'll want to cleanse it afterwards. And so I will put the deck completely in order and then completely shuffle it anew for future readings. And this deck is a little bit of a pain in the butt to put in order. Now, I'm sure after I've done it several times, I will be able to do it like the back of my hand. But the first couple times I've put this deck in order, for one thing, the Roman numerals are different on the majors. The way they do the Roman numerals for the Marseille Tarot and in this deck are not what you would consider traditional Roman numerals. So it kind of throws you a little bit because we're so used to the traditional Roman numerals, or a lot of contemporary decks just have the number and don't even have Roman numerals. And then with the pips, you really have to count the things on because there's no title bar on any of the cards, so you really have to like count and pay attention because there's no number there, and so you have to really be paying attention when you put this deck in order. But if you aren't constantly putting your deck in order, that's not an issue for you. But I have chit-chatted enough. Without any further ado, let's jump into this deck.